पदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नेति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन माधवा कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे I'm waiting for more participants, Mataji. Is that okay?
think you can start, Mataji. Usually, they join late, but
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, you can continue. Problem.
Okay. Sure. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from the verse Bhagavad Gita 6.9, chapter 6, verse number 9. Mitrari udasina madhyastha dvesha bandhusho sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhirvisishyate. सुहृन्मित्रारि उदासीना मध्यस्था द्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुस्वापि च पापेषु समबुद्धि विशिष्यते. Anyone would like to recite?
Mitrari udashina madhyastha devesya bandhusu sadhusvapi cha prapeshu samabuddhirvisisyate.
Synonyms. Suhrut, to well-wishers by nature. Mitra, benefactors with affection.
Mataji, we can't hear you. I can't hear you, Mataji. I don't know if you're mute or something.
No, I can hear.
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. Mataji, can you hear me? No?
Looks like Sudevi Mataji, your volume is low. I think he can't hear us. Okay.
Shall I continue, or Prabhu, or shall we ask her to?
I think she's unable to hear. Looks like.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll put a message if she can see.
Yes.
You can continue.
Okay. Synonyms. Suhrut, to well-wishers by nature. Mitra, benefactors with affection. Ari, enemies. Udasena, neutrals between belligerents. Madhyastha, mediators between belligerents. Dveshya, the envious. Bandhushu, and the relatives or well-wishers. Sadhushu, unto the pious. Api, as well as. Cha, and. Papeshu, unto the sinners. Samabuddhi, having equal intelligence. Visishyate is for advanced. Translation. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral, mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind. Before I explain the verse, I would like to offer prayers. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Sri Krishna Dasa Vikarapurana. Namo Prabhupada Kapriya Patmane Gauradesha Vikasa Gautama Bhakti Vaishnavi. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pasya Shatishtarne. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम पुरायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामे गौरक्षे नमः. नमो ब्रह्मण्याय देवाय गौप्राणैत्राचार्य जगदिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलां श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगुणरघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So okay, just to explain this verse, this sixth chapter is called Dhyana Yoga. And the overview of the chapter, I have some points written down from the previous verses, what's going on, right? In the first verse, Krishna says, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and he works as he is obligated in the renounced order of life is called a mystic. Lord emphasizes Karma Yoga, action and Krishna consciousness over Eightfold Yoga system. The living entity who acts for satisfaction of the Supreme Whole and not for personal satisfaction is the perfect sannyasi, the perfect yogi. And in the second verse, like one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Real sannyasa yoga or bhakti means that one should know his constitutional position as the living entity and act accordingly. Krishna consciousness has no opportunity to engage his senses in anything which is not for the purpose of Krishna. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person is simultaneously a sannyasi and a yogi. The real aim is for the living entity to give up all selfish satisfaction and to be prepared to satisfy the Supreme. All purposes are perfectly served by the practice of Krishna consciousness. The complete and in the third verse, it is the ladder of the Ashtanga Yoga is explained. The complete ladder is called yoga and may be divided into three parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called the Yoga Rurukshu stage, and the highest rung is called the Yoga Ruda stage. A Krishna conscious person, however, is situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna. And being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have ceased all material activities. And in the fourth verse, it is said that a person is said to be elevated in yoga, renounced all material desires, neither acts for sense gratification nor for fruitive activities. And then in the fifth verse, the mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. The more one is attracted to sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. For man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense object is the cause of bondage and mind detached from the sense objects is the cause of liberation. This is taken from Amrita Bindu Upanishad. Okay. And in the sixth verse, it says, for him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends, and but for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or a mystic when he is fully satisfied by the virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. This Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. By realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions, but by mere academic knowledge, one can be easily deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. It is the realized soul who is actually self-controlled because he surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with mundane scholarship. For him, mundane scholarship and mental speculation, which may be as good as gold to others, are of no greater value than pebbles or stones. Now coming to the current verse. Suhran mitrari udasena madhyastha dveshya bandhushu sadhushva apicha papeshu samabhuti visishyate. A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral mediators, the envious friends and enemies, and the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind. And to explain this verse, there is a similar verse in 5th chapter, 18th verse, Bhagavad Gita. It goes like this: Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Suni Chaiva Swapakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. A Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, an elephant may be different from the point of view of species, but these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme Lord. The bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature, but the soul and the super soul within the body are of the same spiritual quality. The similarity in the quality of the soul and the super soul, however, does not make them equal in quantity. For the individual soul is present only in that particular body, whereas the Paramatma is present in each and every body. A Krishna conscious person has full knowledge of this, and therefore he is truly learned and has equal vision. The similar characteristic of the soul and the super soul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful. But the difference is that the individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body, whereas the super soul is conscious of all bodies. The super soul is present in all bodies without distinction. We have got our relationship in this world. We call that he is my friend. Suhrut means and Mitra. These are two kinds of friends. Suhrut means better friend. Actually, who is always desiring my welfare. He is called Suhrut. And friend means we have got goodwill, ordinary friends. Suhran Mitra Udasina. Udasina means neutral. Neither friend nor enemy. We have got relationship within this world. Somebody is my very good well-wisher, somebody is my just friend, and somebody is neither friend nor enemy. And somebody Majesta, mediator, and somebody actually doing some good. Somebody I think, oh, here is a nice gentleman, saintly person. And somebody I think, oh, here is a sinful man. According to my calculation, somebody my friend, somebody is my enemy, somebody is neutral, somebody, I mean to say a saintly person or a sinful person. But a Krishna conscious person, he doesn't discriminate between the different relationship on the bodily platform. He sees the super soul in everybody and he treats them all with an equal vision, equal mind. And for example, the Sadgoswamis, like in the Sadgoswami Ashtakam, it is said that it goes like this: Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Parau Premamrutambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priyatarau Nirmastarau Pujitau Sri Chaitanya Krupa Parau Bhuvi Bhuvo Bhara Vahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyutau Sri Jiva Gopalako. The translation goes like this: I offer my respectful obeisances unto 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy names of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of God, and they are popular both both with the gentle and with the ruffians, because they are not envious of anyone. Whatever they do, they are all pleasing to everyone, and they are all fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus, they are all engaged in the missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditioned souls in the material universe. So, from these words, we can know that the Goswamis are they are they are equal with the gentle and the ruffians, and also they are non-envious. Those are two qualities that make them suitable to call them a yogis or transcendentalists. And they see everyone with the equal vision, right? And okay, and I note down some points from the Prabhupada's commentary for this verse. A person is said to be further advanced when he regards all the honest well-wisher, friends, enemies, and envious, the pious, and the sinners, and those who are indifferent and impartial with an equal mind. Yes, Prabhupada says, yes, this is the sign of a sign of advancement, because here in this material world, the calculation of friend and enemy, everything is in relationship with this body, our sense gratification. But realization of God or the absolute truth, there is no such material consideration. Another point is that all conditioned souls are under illusion. Suppose a doctor goes to a patient, the patient is under convulsion. He's talking nonsense. That does not mean he will refuse to treat him. He treats him as a friend. Although the patient calls him ill names or bad names, still he gives him medicine. Just like Lord Jesus Christ said that you hate the sin, not the sinner. And because sinner is illusion, he's mad. If you hate him, then who can deliver him? Therefore, those who are devotees, those who are real servants of the God, they have no hate for anyone. Just like Lord Jesus Christ, when he was being crucified, he was requesting God, my Lord, please excuse them. They do not know what they are doing. This is the position of a devotee. Yes, because they are mad after materialistic way of thinking, so they cannot be hated. Anyone. So this Krishna consciousness movement is so nice that there is no question of hating. Everyone is welcome. Please come here, chant Hare Krishna, take Krishna Prasadam, and hear some nice philosophy from Bhagavad Gita, and try to rectify your material condition lives. This is the program Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya introduced this moment. Yare Daika Dare Kaha Krishna Upadesa. Whoever you meet, whatever you meet, wherever you meet, simply try to teach him this Krishna consciousness, Krishna Kada. Words from Lord Krishna, you will be happy and they will be happy. And on this verse, there is a commentary from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The yogi sees equally the person who wishes one well, Suhrut, his nature, one who actually does good out of affection, Mitra, and the killer is called Ari, and one who is neutral in times of conflict or honor is called Udasina, and the mediator who tries to resolve the conflict between the two sides is called Madhyastha, and the person who deserves hatred because he harms one is called Dveshya, and the relative is called Bandhu, the follower of Dharma and the follower of Adharma. This position is superior to that of seeing dirt and gold as the same. There is another verse from Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmama nirahankara samadukha sukha kshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma drudha nischaya mayarpita manobhuti yomad bhakta same priya. One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. And more verses like यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षमर्षा भवोद्वेगै मुक्तो यः सा च मे प्रियः. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. And then 12 in the same chapter, 16th verse. Anapeksha suchedaksha udasino gatavyatha sarvaramba parityagi yomad bhakta same priyaha. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्ति मां सा या सा मे प्रियः. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयो शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गा विवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दा स्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेता स्थिरमति भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in poised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. So, with this, I conclude this verse. Then we can go to the next verse because we have half an hour left. So. Bhagavad Gita 6.10. Okay. Yogi yunjita satatam atma.
Yogi.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead, Mataji. No, I thought you wanted us to
No,
repeat.
you can recite. I waited. That's fine. Okay.
Okay, yogi yunjita satatam.
Atmanam rahasi stitaha.
Atmanam rahasi stitaha.
Ekaki yata chittatma.
Ekaki yata chittatma.
Nirasir aparigraha.
Nirasir apagriha.
Yogi yunjita satatam.
Yogi yunjita satatam.
Atmanam rahasi stitaha.
Atmanam rahasi stitaha.
Ekaki yata chittatma.
Ekaki yata chittatma.
Nirasir aparigraha.
Nirashir apagriha. I'm having trouble with that.
Translation. Oh, no, wait, synonyms. Yogi, a transcendentalist. Yunjita.
Yogi,
Oh,
a transcendentalist, yunjita,
must concentrate in Krishna consciousness.
must concentrate in Krishna consciousness.
Satatam, constantly.
Satatam, constantly.
Atmanam, himself, by body, mind, and self.
Atmanam, himself, by body, mind, and self.
Rahasi, in a secluded place.
Rahasi, in a secluded place.
Stitaha, being situated.
Titaha, being situated.
Ekaki, alone.
Ekaki, alone.
Yata chittatma, always careful in mind.
Yata chittatma, always careful in mind.
Nirasi, without being attracted by anything else.
Nirashi, without being attracted by anything else.
Aparigraha, free from the feeling of possessiveness.
Aparigraha, free from the feeling of possessiveness.
A translation. A transcendentalist should always engage his body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. and purport. Mataji, would you like to read the purport?
Okay, I can read. Krishna is realized in different degrees as Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna consciousness means concisely to be always engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. But those, sorry, I have to keep scrolling. Those who are attached to the impersonal Brahman or the localized super soul are also partially Krishna conscious, because the impersonal Brahman in this is the spiritual ray of Krishna, and the super soul is the all-pervading partial expansion of Krishna. Thus, the impersonalist and the meditator are also indirectly Krishna conscious. A directly Krishna conscious person is the topmost transcendentalist, because such a devotee knows what is meant by Brahman and Paramatma. His knowledge of the absolute truth is perfect, whereas the impersonalist and the meditative yogi are imperfectly Krishna conscious. Nevertheless, all of these are instructed herewith to be constantly engaged in their particular pursuits, so that they may come to the highest perfection sooner or later. The first business of a transcendentalist is to keep the mind always on Krishna. One should always think of Krishna and not forget him, even for a moment. Concentration of the mind on the Supreme is called samadhi or trance. In order to concentrate the mind, one should always remain in seclusion and avoid disturbance by external objects. He should be very careful to accept favorable and reject unfavorable conditions that affect his realization. And in perfect determination, he should not hanker after the unnecessarily material things that entangle him by feelings of possessiveness. Somebody else wants to go? No?
If you want me to continue, I will do Mataji.
You can, Mataji, or I just thought I don't want to hog the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Nevertheless, all of these are instructed here to be constantly engaged in their particular pursuits, so that they may come to the highest perfection sooner or later. The first business of a transcendentalist is to keep the mind always on Krishna. One should always think of Krishna and not forget him even for a moment. Concentration of the mind on the Supreme is called samadhi or trance. In order to concentrate the mind, one should always remain in seclusion and avoid disturbance by external objects. He should be very careful to accept favorable and reject unfavorable conditions that affect his realization. And in perfect determination, she should not hanker after unnecessary material things that entangle him by feelings of possessiveness. All these perfections and precautions are perfectly executed when one is directly in Krishna consciousness, because direct Krishna consciousness means self-abnegation, wherein there is very little chance for material possessiveness. Srila Rupa Goswami characterizes Krishna consciousness in this way. Anasaktasya vishayan yadarham upayunjita nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate प्रापंचिकतया बुद्ध्या हरिसंबंधी वस्तुनः मुमुक्षुभिः परित्यागो वैराग्यं फल्गु कथ्यते. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accept everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. On the other hand, one who rejects everything without knowledge of its relationship to Krishna is not as complete in his renunciation. It is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.255 and 256. A Krishna conscious person well knows that everything belongs to Krishna, and thus he is always free from feelings of personal possessions. As such, he has no hankering for anything on his own personal account. He knows how to accept things in favor of Krishna consciousness and how to reject things unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. He is always aloof from material things because he is always transcendental and he is always alone, having nothing to do with persons not in Krishna consciousness. So, therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness is the perfect yogi. So, I prepared some notes. Let me access. Okay. Krishna is talking about yogi must go to a secluded place and live alone, right? There is a similar verse in the 13th chapter 11 and 12, like Mai chananya yogena bhakti ravya bicharini vivikta desha savitvam arati jana samshadi adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etad jnanam iti proktam ajnanam yad atonyatha. Constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge. And besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Krishna mentions living in a secluded place repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita. And how can we apply this for ISKCON? We have to learn the art of living alone in the crowd. In this chapter, in which Lord is teaching the principles of yoga system, he here points out that the transcendentalist should always try to concentrate his mind on the Supreme Self. The Supreme Self refers to Krishna, the Supreme Lord. As explained before, Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetanam. God is the Supreme Eternal and the Supreme Living Entity, the Supreme Self. The purpose of the entire yoga system is to concentrate the mind on this Supreme Self. We are not the Supreme Self, that should be understood. The Supreme Self is God. This is Dvaitavada, duality. Duality means that God is different from me and he is the Supreme and I am the subordinate. He is great and I am small. He is infinite and I am infinitesimal. This is the relationship between ourselves and God as we should understand it. Because we are infinitesimal, we should concentrate our mind on the infinite Supreme Self. In order to do this, we should live alone, and living alone means that we should not live with those who are not Krishna conscious. Ideally, this means that one should live in a secluded place like a forest or a jungle, but in this age, such a secluded place is very difficult to find. Therefore, secluded place refers to that place where God consciousness is taught. The transcendentalist should also carefully control his mind, and this means fixing the mind on the Supreme Self or Krishna. As explained before, Krishna is just like the sun, and if the mind is fixed on him, there is no question of darkness. If Krishna is always on our minds, Maya or illusion can never enter. This is the process of concentration. The transcendentalist should also be free from the desire and feelings of possessiveness. People are materially diseased because they desire things and want to possess them. We desire that which we do not have, and we lament for that which we have lost. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, one who is actually God conscious, does not desire material possessions. He has only one desire, to serve Krishna. It is not possible to give up desire, but it is possible to purify our desire. It is the nature of the living entity to have some desire, but in the conditioned state, one's desire is contaminated. Conditioned one thinks, in a conditioned state, one thinks like, I desire to satisfy my senses by material possessions. Purified desire is to desire for Krishna, and if we desire for Krishna, desire for material possessions will automatically vanish. And there is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that is Canto 5, Chapter 5 and 3. Eva Mayise Krita Sauhrudartha Janeshu Dehambara Vartikeshu Griheshu Jayatmaja Rati Matsu Na Priti Yukta Yavadarthas Chaloke. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. I heard in a lecture that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he sometimes gets angry, like because the devotees want to open the temples far from the general mass of people, like in the outskirts or something. He would be angry because, and if they if they open the temples in a far place, how can they preach them? He want the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission and the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Everyone is to take this moment into the to help all the conditioned souls, not helping themselves, but for the welfare of all entire humanity. That's the reason. And in Narottama Thakur, in one of his bhajan, he says, Tandira charana se bhakta sene bas, janame janame hai abhilash. That means to serve the feet of the acharyas in association of the devotees is my desire, birth after birth. So, and I would like to share also. And Prabhupada, when it is written by Kadambakanand Swami regarding Prabhupada, he says, from Prabhupada's perspective, the entire journey to America was a journey of stepping into the world of insanity. He knew that the entire population was in the grip of Kali. Everyone was degraded. All the various principles of the Bhagavatam of Dharma were broken by society as a whole. So from the first moment, Prabhupada was ready to deal with anything. His mood was that nothing could surprise him. You can see that in Prabhupada's purports. He writes into the 5th canto about the hellish planets and gives detailed descriptions of illicit sex, and these are intimate sinful activities. Prabhupada was not someone who was living in a big bubble of Krishna consciousness and was shocked at how sinful people can be. No, he deeply understood how sinful people really were. He was expecting it all. After all, he was a Kolkata boy, as he would say, and had seen it all. In this way, Prabhupada was ready to deal with anyone, wherever Krishna would lead him. He would not say that he would only accept people in Krishna consciousness who are in a certain category. He does not work like that. That is not the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya. Whoever comes without consideration of caste or creed gets a chance to do devotional service. Now, this does not mean that everyone has to be in the same place. Sometimes you have socially educated cultural people, and then you have a bum of the street. You cannot give them the mercy in the same place like this. You may need different programs, and that is fine, but no one is exempt from the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no condition by which one can say that this person is too sinful. No, everyone is eligible and entitled to mercy, so it is our duty to embrace that spirit. This is from this I can understand that Srila Prabhupada also, like, living in a secluded place, it may be recommended in the Bhagavad Gita, but it is not recommended for this current age. And also, like, people are now more degraded, so they need immediate help. So those who are transcendentalist, they should go to the people and preach them this Krishna consciousness movement. And there is a nice bhajan from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. 1 second. So it is very long, but I will do only few verses. Okay. दुष्टमाना तुम्हें किसेरा वैष्णव, दुष्टमाना तुम्हें किसेरा वैष्णव, प्रतिष्ठारे तारे निर्जने रखारे, प्रतिष्ठार तारे निर्जने रखारे, तवारी नामा केवल कैतावा, तवारी नामा केवल कैतावा, दुष्टमाना तुम्हें किसेरा वैष्णवा, जडेरा प्रतिष्ठा सुकारे रविष्टा, जडेरा प्रतिष्ठा सुकारे रविष्टा, जनना किता माया वैभव, जनना किता माया वैभव, कनक कामिनी दिवशयामिनी, कनक कामिनी दिवशयामिनी, बाबिया की काजा आनी चा से साबा, बाबिया की काजा आनी चा से साबा, तुम्हारा कना का भोगेरा जना का, तुम्हारा कना का भोगेरा जना का, कना केर द्वारे सेवा माधवा, कना केर द्वारे सेवा माधवा, कामिनी रकामा नहे तव धामा, कामिनी रकामा नहे तव धामा, तहारा मलिका केवल यादवा, तहारा मलिका केवल यादवा, प्रतिष्ठा तारु जड़ा माय मारु, प्रतिष्ठा तारु जड़ा माय मारु, नापेला रवाना जुहिया राघवा, नापेला रवाना जुहिया राघवा, वैष्णवे प्रतिष्ठा ताटे करनिष्ठा, वैष्णवे प्रतिष्ठा ताटे करनिष्ठा, तहना भजिले लाभी बेरौरावा, तहना भजिले लाभी बेरौरावा, हरिजन द्वेषा प्रतिष्ठा सक्लेशा, हरिजन द्वेषा प्रतिष्ठा सक्लेशा, करके न ताबे ताहार गौरवा, करके न ताबे ताहार गौरवा, वैष्णवेर पाचे प्रतिष्ठा साचे, वैष्णवेर पाचे प्रतिष्ठा साचे, ताते कबुना हे अनीच वैभव, ताते कबुना हे अनीच वैभव, से हरि संबंध शून्यमाय गंध, से हरि संबंध शून्यमाय गंध, तह कबुमा नाय जदेरा कैतवा, तह कबुनाय जडेरा कैतवा, प्रतिष्ठा कंद प्रतिष्ठा चंडाली निर्जनात जाली, प्रतिष्ठा चंडाली निर्जनात जाली, उभाये जनिया माई कारौरावा, कीर्तन चदीबा प्रतिष्ठा मकीबा, कीर्तना चदीबा प्रतिष्ठा मकीबा, केका जादू दिया तदृशा गौरावा, केका जादू दिया तदृशा गौरावा, माधवेंद्र पुरी बाबा गारी चूरी, माधवेंद्र पुरी बाबा गारे चूरी, ना करील काबू सदाई जनाबा, ना करील काबू सदाई जनाबा, तुम्हारा प्रतिष्ठा सुखारे रविष्ठा, तुम्हारा प्रतिष्ठा सुखारे रविष्ठा, तार सहसा मा कबू नामनाभा, तार सहसा मा कबू नामनाभा, मत्सरत वासे तुम्ही जडरासे, मत्सरत वासे तुम्ही जडरासे, माझे चेचडिया कीर्तना सौष्ठवा, माझे चेचडिया कीर्तना सौष्ठवा, दुष्ट माना तुम्हें किसेरा वैष्णवा. Translation, anyone would like to read, Mataji? Or
I lost it, Mataji. Okay, hold on. Okay. O wicked mind, what kind of a Vaishnava do you think you are? Your pretentious show of chanting Lord Hari's holy name is in a solitary place only for the sake of attaining false prestige of a worldly reputation. It is nothing but pure hypocrisy. You want me to go ahead?
yes, Mataji, until 8.
Okay, such materialistic prestige is disgusting as the stool of a hog. Do you not know that it is only a mere illusion cast by the potency of Maya? What is the value of contemplating day and night, your plans of enjoying wealth and women? All these things are only temporary. When you claim wealth, it is a disgusting when you claim wealth as your own, it creates in you ever-increasing desires for material enjoyment. Your riches should be used for serving Madhava, the Lord of all wealth. Neither is it your proper place to indulge in lust for women, whose only true proprietor is Lord Yadava. The demon Ravana, lust incarnate, fought with Lord Ramachandra, love incarnate, in order to gain the tree of the worldly reputation. But the oasis turned out to be a mirage cast in the desert wasteland of the Lord's illusionary material potency. Please cultivate fixed determination to attain only the steady and solid platform whereupon a Vaishnava ever stands. If you neglect worshipping the Lord from this position, then you will ultimately attain a hellish existence. Why do you needlessly suffer the torment of blaspheming the devotees of Lord Hari, attempting to achieve their eminence, thereby only proving your own fruitless foolishness? The desire for spiritual eminence is easily fulfilled when one becomes a devotee of the Lord, for eternal fame automatically follows the heels of a Vaishnava. And that fame is never to be considered a temporary worldly opulence. The relationship between a devotee and Lord Hari is devoid of even a trace of worldly illusion. It is nothing to do with the materialistic cheating propensity. The prestige of the so-called popularity in the material realm is compared to a treacherous dog eating witch, and the attempt to live in solitude is to supposedly engage in unalloyed bhajan is compared to an entangling network of distraction. Please know that anyone striving in either of these ways verily lives in the hell of Maya's illusion. I shall give up chanting the Lord's name publicly in Kirtan and retire to solitude, thus smearing myself with worldly honor. Dear mind, what is the good of seeking such so-called glory? I will always remind you that the great soul Madhavendra Puri never deceived himself in this regard by committing theft in his own storehouse of perception the way you do. Your cheap reputation is equal to the stool of a hog. An ordinary ambitious man like you can never be equated with a devotee of Madhavendra Puri's eminence. Under the sway of envy, you have drowned yourself in the filthy waters of material enjoyment after having abandoned the excellent perfection of congregational Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Just I thought it fits the verse because it mentions about there is no use in going to the secluded place and worship.
Who's the author, Mataji? Okay, it says here.
Bhakti Saraswati Thakur.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Oh, no wonder it's so lofty. Dushtamana. Okay. That's the author of the. Yeah, it's very strong.
Yes.
Sounds like his preaching. He's very strong. He doesn't spare the words.
Yes, Mataji. Right. Anybody have any questions or comments? Otherwise, we can end the call.
Very nice, Mataji. I know it was like the first verse was very short. There was no purport. But it's still very effective, It's very, very thoughtful when you think about it, And it firmly convinces me that I'm a rank materialist. No doubt about that. I have no qualities of whatsoever that's mentioned in that thing, except that I live in solitude. I live alone. Maybe that thing fits, but everything else doesn't fit.
No, Mataji, we are all condition souls, but you and Geeta Mala Mataji, you are, regularly trying to attend the classes, in spite of your busy schedule. That itself is, very fast. And
okay, once in a while I try, but when that song, I feel like it's directed at me.
oh my God.
I can easily relate to that.
I'm thanking all the Vaishnavas on the call. So, and thank you, Ji. Pattanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Yuga Dharma Mataji ki jai.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.